Hi, everybody. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-R-I-S-T-I-N-A. Guten Tag, Gut Nacht, Guten Tag, Guten Morgen, whatever you are. I'm practicing. Good day. I'm trying to learn all this different stuff, and I'm doing horrible at it. So, my old co-host is here. We haven't seen him in a while. He's getting the daggers from the other co-host. But, please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. It's just me reading books, talking books. There's no special effects going on here. Very, 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 very low tech. So anyways, while I was waiting, we're finishing up on J.D. Robb this month. Painful as it is. And we're finishing up on J.A. Gent's J.P. Beaumont series. There's only a few more books left there. And doing an in-between, if you saw my book lovers, you know me in modern romance. It's just like, just don't. But anyways, I stumbled upon this book by accident. I don't remember what I was looking for. I saw something. I don't even remember why I was in that aisle. But anyways, I saw this book, and I decided they were there. The first couple were there. And so I did it. I thought I'd give it a try. And it's Katherine Schellman, The Body in the Garden. And it starts off a lot. It reminded me, my pal here, a lot of Darcy Wilde's Rosalind Thorne Mistress. And I'm sorry that Darcy Wilde hasn't written any more that I can tell. I have to do some more research to see. But apparently the last Rosalind was a couple years ago. I forget. I knew all the stuff when I was doing it. And so maybe she's passed on or something. I don't know. I have to look again because this was way back over the summer. I think I was doing those. But it reminds me a lot of the Darcy Wilde books. And it also reminds me a lot of the Alyssa Maxwell Gilded Newport series. Because that series started the same way this one did. All right, yes, this one takes place in London. The other one takes place in New York. Or is it New Hampshire? I forget which. But the reason it reminds me so much... All right, so the Rosalind Wilde is the lady that single... I believe she's also a widow. And she starts helping to solve mysteries. And this is also a widowed lady who decides she gets accidentally involved in solving a mystery. And she decides at the end that this is something she wants to pursue. Oh, look, here comes the other co-host. But it reminds me of the Alyssa Maxwell series because in the beginning, and it got better once I got past it. Because once I took out my spreadsheet and I started making my spreadsheet, it's because it starts like the reason I say it starts like the Maxwell books is because they threw a lot of characters at me in the first chapter or two. And so I made a spreadsheet to keep track of what their names were and what their occupation was or what their relationships were. Until I get into a series and know who the series regulars are and know who the extras are. And I like to pay attention to the regulars. And the ones that are only going to be there for one book, then we can put them to the side. But we can pay attention to the core cast. And until I know who the core cast is, I keep track. because there were so many thrown at us in like the first chapter. Just like the Alyssa Maxwell's, there were so many characters thrown at you in the first couple chapters that I didn't know who the core cast was. And once I read the second book and I figured out who the core cast was, then I stopped with my spreadsheet. But so I started with this one, and once I got several chapters into it, I was like, oh, okay, well, I know who my core cast is, and I know who I'm going to pay attention to, and which characters I'm going to pay attention to, and which ones are just, a high and buy type situation. So, once we get this, and Andrea Penrose. So, if you do the, if you like A, then you'll like B. Well, if you like Alyssa Maxwell's Gilded Newport series, and if you like Andrea Penrose, Wexford and Sloane series, and you like the Darcy Wilde, Rosalind Thorne series, you are gonna like this Body in the Garden, the Lily Adler mysteries. And we start off the book with Lily coming into town. She's rented a house. Her husband is deceased. She's a recent widow of a couple of years. And apparently her mother-in-law told her she needs to get back into London, needs to get back into the scene again, the social scene. And so then this lady friend of hers, where's my first page? My first page is missing. Oh, here it is. It's 1815, and it's London, and she comes in, and the house comes with housekeeper, Mrs. Carstairs, and her husband is the butler, Mr. Carstairs. Anna is her lady's maid, and Lady Serena Walter is her friend, and it's through Mrs. Walters that we get back into society and we get into socializing with the society. And so we have a couple other people that come and go, but then a friend of her husband's comes, and I think, don't hold me to this, but I think he's going to be a potential love interest. In the Rosalind Thorne series, I believe it was the Bow Street Runner that was starting to become the potential thing, but the books just, there hasn't been any more books in several years. So maybe the author did die. I really don't remember. But I'll have to check that out. But I'm hoping that Captain Jack Hartley becomes a love interest. Although, didn't the Rosalind Thorne, she also had a rich suitor too, and that was dropped. That we never went anywhere with either one of those. That's I remember that she had two suitors. So anyway, let me just talk about this book. I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth between the books. You know how many books I read last year? Good grief! I'm trying to keep track of them this year. That's my New Year's resolution, to keep track of the books. So she goes to this party. Serena her friend has insisted that she hasn't even unpacked yet, and Serena is dragging her off to the balls. And there's some childhood friends, Margaret Hollow, and Andrew Hollow, and Isabel Harper, and her brother Reggie, who keeps making illicit passes at Lily, our main character. And so I think it's Reggie that approaches her and gives her the heebie-jeebies, and she's just got to get away. And she goes out into the garden, and she overhears a conversation. At first, she decides she's going to leave, but then she hears a conversation where apparently somebody is blackmailing somebody, and it's not going well. And then she hears a gunshot, and she goes to investigate and finds a dead guy, and then she goes and gets Captain Jack, and stuff goes from there. Now, she gets really upset when nobody knows who the guy is at first, the dead guy. But upon investigation, she hears more. But in the meantime, she overhears Serena, the lady that she was involved with, her husband, Lord Walter. She overhears and witnesses him paying the Bow Street runner £300 to disregard this investigation. The guy was a nobody. Nobody knows who he is. It doesn't matter. Please put this aside and let it go. So Bow Street does put it aside and let it go. And this infuriates Lily to no end. And it's discovered. They try and go to Bow Street and talk to them, and they're like, the case is closed, just leave it alone. So then they're talking with one of the other people that were in attendance at the party, one of our other principal characters, Miss Ophelia Oswald. And she tells Lily and Captain Jack that the man was Augustus Finch, and he was her father's godson, and she knew him since childhood. And they were supposedly maybe sort of kind of heading toward an engagement unofficially, while Miss Oswald's heart was going someplace else. And so they go to investigate that situation. And when they go to the inn where Mr. Finch was staying, Lily they search for any letters or anything like that, and there's a notepad. And have you tried this for yourself? If you haven't done it, people do it on tombstones. But if you take a piece of paper that if someone presses hard, it's better. If someone presses lightly, it's really hard. But you can take a pencil, like they take the page off, and the next page is there. If you take a pencil, you go over it lightly, the words will appear. And that's like a rubbing. Some people do a rubbing on tombstones. There's proper ways to do it and improper ways to do it. But so they find this letter that says that they only get so many words. They get like almost every other word. And it insinuates, "Dear sir, I am currently unknown to you. I hope something of writing. I am sure that when you learn what I know, you will be most grateful that I have approached you with my information is more official channels, which I blank will be of great interest and mutual benefit. Certain facts concern the war effort, activities on the continent, and this letter leads them to further investigation. And then she gets together with Miss Oswald, who is helping her with the investigation. And it leads all different twists and turns. I really don't want to. They go looking into the shipping interest, and Jack helps them with that, and Jem. I'm really hoping that something happens with Jem in the next book. What did I do with it? I thought I brought it up here. I'm really hoping that we get to know Jem better. Maybe like the Andrea Penrose books, maybe he'll be adopted or something. I'm really hoping we see more of him. He sounds like a very interesting character to get to know. So then we proceed with the knowledge that we believe person A may be the person responsible, and we get discussions about Lord Walter. Why was he paying the guy off? And then we're like, well, what about this other guy? and what is his affiliation with the situation. And the more they investigate and the more layers they turn up, it's really intriguing. And once I got past my difficulty with the characters, and once I got pulled in, it really started to had a smooth ride, and it was really intriguing. Miss Lily's anger with Bow Street is something to be beckoned with. I really liked and enjoyed Jack's relationship with Jem. And you're led also to believe that this other guy, Lacey, is also a bad guy because he is threatening Lily a few times, and a few times Lily is attacked. Only one time do you discover who her attacker is. They're like unknown. You're led to believe certain things, and the author does not reveal certain things until the end. And it's really intriguing. It's really multi-layered, and I like the few little twists and turns at the end because you're led to believe that it goes this way, and you're given a couple of false leads. They start investigating Lord Walter, and it goes along there, and as they investigate him, Sir Alfred comes into the picture, and they start investigating him, and then it leads to Mr. Lacey, and they start investigating him, and then some of these people end up dead, and you're like, well, if he wasn't, and he wasn't, and there's a couple of little suspenseful moments with Lily investigating. There's a couple more suspenseful moments with Jack investigating. It was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It took me a little longer than I would have liked to have read. I was so busy taking notes like crazy. I really did. I took over 20 pages of notes here. But, so like I said before, if you like the Alyssa Maxwell, and the Andrea Penrose and the Darcy Wilde, you will definitely like this book. It'll be in the same wheelhouse. And it wasn't until after I finished the book and got into it that I read the back flap. And I was like, oh, okay. I did not know it when I picked it up. And to tell you the truth, I really didn't read the inside flap either. I was just like, oh, series. You know me. I'm a series person. I like series. I can't resist a new series. I'm always looking for new series. I'm a series person. You look at the bookcase. It's all series. All of it. The Regencies, they're all series over there. Janet, she's all series. Patterson, we're doing series. I like my series. And when I find a new series, and there's another one over there that I just picked up too. I picked up 2 new series the other day. So we'll be checking those out sporadically as we do the Pattersons and stuff. But unknown to me, when I picked this up, Miss Katherine Schellman is a local author. She went to William and Mary. And for those of you who don't know, that's up in Colonial Williamsburg. And I got some pictures. It's a huge tourist spot here. Huge! And they got some old bookstores in the basement. There's a bookstore in the main colonial part, but you gotta go down the street and you gotta go in the basement. It's under the building. There's some really cool old books. But I was like, oh, she's a local author. So she's definitely considered a local author for me. So that was a surprise. And this is her debut novel. We will be going on to Silence in the Library and Death at the Manor. I usually don't read series so short, But like I said, I stumbled upon it and thought I would give it a try, and it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. And unlike the book lovers one the other day that was like, oh, I like a little romance, but there has to be a mystery. There has to be an investigation. There has to be something else, not just the romance. And the Regencies always have a little something else going on. And this has a mystery going on, and there's something to be solved while the characters get together, while the characters grow their relationship, while they form the bonds, while the friendships form, while the relationships form. There's a mystery going on, and it'll take a few books. And none of this, oh, good. That book the other day was just, oh, good God. But anyways, please check this out, and I hope I did Miss Katherine Schellman a service by reviewing this book, because she's a local author. Who knew? But it's really good, and I really enjoyed it. It was good. So I hope you enjoyed it too, and please hit the like and subscribe, and let me know I'm doing a good job. Have a good one.